Little do I know. Little do I know. So what is the practice all about? Huh? And what is meditation about? Huh? What is the purpose of meditation? Finding a happy pill? Yeah? Having a happy moment, once in a while? That makes us go through the suffering or the dukkha that we have in our life, and then resting, or taking in, this happy pill, and then going on in our life. What is the purpose of meditation? It's pretty much, what is the purpose of meditation? It's just like, what is the purpose of cleaning our house? Yeah? I mean, if you like untidy houses, or apartments or rooms, it's fine, yeah? But whenever we come into a room, normally, when we come in a room and it is in a mess, we like to tidy it up. So, and if it is tidy and clean, we enjoy it. Yeah? If it is untidy, and messy and dirty, we don't like it, we don't feel very comfortable. Yeah? So and the purpose of the meditation is the same thing, to tidy up our mind, or the heart, whatever. Yeah? To make it clear so that we can think clearly. Yeah? Thinking straight, not only for 2-3 thoughts, It is just like coming into a house, that is completely a mess, all these things are sticking out, This reminds us of that reminds us of that. Yeah, we don't get anything done, when we start, most of the people are over the border already, or borderline already. They come and see the mess and say, oh God, and then they don't want to clean up because they know it takes hours, weeks, or maybe even months, to clean it completely, and to get all the chunk, that collected over the decades, of our life, there, so they just, put the new things on to top of that, and it becomes messier and messier and messier. And the same thing is with our mind, If we can't clear our mind, so that it becomes tidy and clean, so that we can see actually what is in the mind, or what is in the heart. It is always a mess. This experience comes up, that experience comes up, this dream comes up, this image comes up, and that images come up. It's just like, going into a very messy home. You stumble over all these things, that you constantly collected over the last decades of your life. And it's the same thing, with our mind it is even worse. It's not only, what we have collected over the last decades of our life, it is what we have collected over billions of lives. It's still there, it has not been removed, and it's still lingering somewhere, probably 1,000 feet, under other things, yeah. And whenever we start to meditate, all these things are coming up, yeah. And then we, just like, with a very messy house, we don't like to clean it up, yeah, so we give up. So the purpose of meditation is really to clean up the mind, to get it straight, so that we can think straight. Look at your, just the example, here, you're here to practice, and you practice anapanasati, and sometimes you think, investigate your thoughts, how long can you keep on the same subject without deviating from the subject? 2-3 thoughts, and then there's an idea coming up, and there's a thought coming up, and there's a memory coming up, and then you deviate from the subject. It's just like within a messy house, you want to clean up, and then you see this, I need to do this, and then you see that, I need to do that, and then, you don't get anything done. And that is the same thing with our mind or with our heart, we start to do things here, we start to think about certain things, and all these memories, all these experiences, all this whatever, thoughts are coming in, and messing things up, and we can't think straight. And we should be able to think straight. So one of the reasons, to do meditation, is to get a clear mind. And it is so difficult. Of course, I understand that it is difficult. It is not easy. It is like, remember the times when you cleaned your room or apartment or house, when it was really messy, it isn't easy, you don't like to do it, but you have to feel you need to do it and so on. And sometimes you give up and sometimes you go through, but it is not easy. And that is the same thing with the mind. It is not easy, yeah. The mind is now, it is like a wild animal, just like the Lord Buddha said, it's just like a wild elephant that you need to train, to be the king's warrior elephant, yeah. The first thing, the wild elephant, you have to bind it, you have to catch it, just like we catch our mind when it goes out, we catch it, and then we bind it to a pole, yeah. And this pole is very heavy, and it is, cemented in, or whatever, so that the elephant cannot rip it out, and it tries to get loose, and that is what our mind is when we are with the Buddha, or when we are with the breath. The mind wants to get loose, yeah. Most of the time it actually gets loose, yeah. But then we try to tie it to the pole again, yeah? And then, once the elephant sees, that's what the Lord Buddha said, once the elephant sees, he cannot get off the pole, it goes to sleep. It rests. And that is what samadhi is, yeah? It's rest. It's re-energizing. Think about all the effort that we take, to run away from the pole and to run away in the world. Yeah, we are constantly distracted, we are constantly de-energized. And when we go into samadhi, when we come out, we are energized. Yeah? It's like a deep sleep, we have a deep sleep. And then when we come out of the deep sleep, we feel refreshed. That's always. When we really actually enter samadhi, when we come out, we feel refreshed. Huh? And not only that, we have a very clear mind. So going back to meditation, we need to calm in, we need to curb in the mind, and this pole that we have, it should be only one pole, yeah, and this should be very sturdy, yeah. And this is, you can compare it to a lifesaver when you swim in the ocean. Yeah? If you have a lifesaver, then you can hold on to it, yeah, and you don't drown, yeah. And what happens to normal people? They drown in their thoughts, or they drown in their imaginations, or they drown in their memories, yeah. How many people, drown in their memories? Oh, the past was so nice, yeah. The past was as much of dukkha, as now the present moment. We always have dukkha. Why do we dream of the past? We don't remember all these times of dukkha. That's why we go into the past, because we only remember the nice times we had. Oh, that was so beautiful. But if you go into the memory, if we would go into this memory, specific memory, then we would see, it is surrounded by dukkha, by unsatisfactory feelings. And there was maybe only a moment, or maybe only 10 moments, of happiness, was surrounded by minutes or hours of unhappiness. But the Kili says, fool us with that and say, yeah, the past was much better. It wasn't better. And the future is not better either. What we can do is, to make the mind clear. And that is the purpose of meditation, to make the mind clear. So that we are actually able to think straight, without constantly being diverted by this or by that. Whatever is lingering in our heart, whatever memories or thoughts, old thoughts that we have not processed or we have not chucked out, are lingering in our heart, this is what is diverting our attention. When there's nothing more lingering in our heart, there's no diversion. So we can think straight and clear. But we have to do this work, we have to curb in the mind, we have to to catch the wild elephant, the Lord Buddha compared it with the chitta. We have to curb in, we have to catch the chitta, and bind it and fix it to a pole, And the pole is either Anapanasati, that is the tip of the nose, where we know that the breath goes in and the breath goes out, not moving, not moving our attention to another pole. No, we just take this pole, the attention on the tip of the nose. And that's where we stay. We stay there put with our concentration. That's it. Very simple. The instructions are so simple, Yet it is so difficult to do. When we do the Buddha, then we put our attention, or the pole is the Buddha, And that's where we keep our attention. And whenever the mind goes out, then we bring it back. We don't worry about that the mind has gone out. We notice, the mind has gone out. It has strayed away from its object of meditation, be it the Buddha or be it the breath, and has gone out into thinking or imagination. And then the moment we notice it, before we can't do anything, before we notice it, that the mind has swayed away from the object of meditation, we can't do anything. The moment we notice it, then we can bring it back. And we don't ask any questions. We don't get, we don't we don't get dissatisfied that the mind constantly goes out. We just bring it back, and we just bring it back, and then bring it back until it stays there. Just like, when the moment the elephant knows it cannot, it escape from the rope, and then it starts to lay down, and when it starts to lay down, it goes to sleep. And that's exactly what we are going to do in Samadhi. We are going to rest ourselves. And when we come out of Samadhi, we are rested, and the mind is clear, or energized, or whatever you want to call it. It is always the same. No matter what kind of experience we have in Samadhi, the result when we come out is always the same thing. We are rested or energized, and we are clear. We are very clear. We are concentrated. Whatever happens within the Samadhi, some people, have a feeling of happiness appearing, as other people have a feeling of peacefulness appearing, other people have just stillness, or whatever. Or some people, because when they go in the first time, the tears are running down, because they're so happy. Pity. That doesn't matter what happens. Samadhi, Upachara Samadhi can have as many differences as you can think of, imagine of. But the result is always the same. When you come out, you feel energized, and you feel concentrated, or the mind is clear. And this is something you really have to remind yourself all the time. Oh yes, I was in samadhi, but I feel so tired. Then you have not been in samadhi. Huh? If you feel tired, if you constantly fight, for the mind to go back, you don't really have to fight, you just have to pull it back. And that's where you need your effort and determination. Because the determination to pull the mind instantly back, the moment you know it has gone out, that is what is really making a success in your meditation. You don't ask the question why it has gone out. You don't ask the question what it wanted, or what it was looking for, or why it has gone there. No. You just notice it has deviated from your object of meditation, and then you bring it back. And if you do that constantly, within days, you will be able, to arrest into samadhi. But the kilesas are so clever. They trick us constantly. Oh yes, this is important. That is important. Oh, where is this thought coming from? I haven't had that for a while. Where is this memory coming from? Does it come from a past life? Huh? What is the use of that? And then you are already back in the fangs of avijja. Or in the fangs of the kilesas. They want to know. Do you remember the definition of avijja that I normally give? Wanting to know, but not being able to know in line with the truth. Wanting to understand, but not being able to understand in line with the truth. That's a pure definition of avijja. Normally it is just translated as fundamental ignorance, but what does it mean? Do we know what it is mean? What does it mean? Does anybody have any idea of what it means, fundamental ignorance? But if I define it as wanting to know but not being able to know, wanting to understand but not being able to understand, this gives us a certain understanding of what is going on. And you will see it every time, when the mind goes out, it's searching for something. It's so restless, it's searching for something, wants to investigate this or investigate this. Why are so many troubles when I don't sit in samadhi? I don't have any troubles, when I don't, do walking meditation, this confined walking meditation. When I walk around, through the nature, I can walk throughout by, to walk, go for a stroll for hours without any getting tired. But when I walk on my Chongkrom path, it is also walking. After 30 minutes, I get so tired. Oh, it's so boring. Because the mind is constantly out. So we have to curb it in. And that is the beginning. In the beginning, it is really, the more effort we put in that, in the beginning, and the more serious and determined we are, and determination is that, I am determined. The moment I wake up, I said, I am determined. Whenever the mind goes out, I bring it back to the Buddha or to the breath or whatever it is. And then don't let go of this determination. And see the tricks of the kilesas. Understand them. Evaluate them when you go in the evening, when you do some reflection, the daily reflection. That's where you see how the kilesas trick you again. Wanting to know this, wanting to know that. Or wanting to do this and wanting to do that. You're constantly wanting. That reminds me of this morning, when we went Pindapat. There were these two cars, coming, and asking for donations, and there was a group of monks, coming from another province. They want to build, a new boat. What is a boat? A temple, or what is it? What is a boat? What? Ordination hall. They wanted to build a new ordination hall. It's so nice, the monks are building ordinations hall, they're building this, they're building a temple, they're building all these beautiful places. And that reminds me, have you heard of Nietzsche? Friedrich Nietzsche? He one time went into a church and said, have you heard of that? He went into the church, and then he accused the people, who are in the church. You killed God. There's no more God in this church. Yeah? And that's the same thing. You go to a Buddhist temple here and there's no more Buddhism in there. There's no Buddhist spirit in there. There are only monks working, building. But the Buddhist spirit has left. Huh? I found it when I read Nietzsche. I found it really good. Yeah? You killed God. There's no spirit anymore in this church. It's just a church. Yeah, and that's the same thing. People who traveled over Thailand. They're really gorgeous places. They're really very gorgeous and very beautiful temples, all ornated, and very beautiful Buddha Rupa statues, But when you go in, all what you see is, there's no more spirit in there. Yeah? And then you go to Wat Papantat, that is not a gorgeous place. There's nothing to see, but you feel all the spirit, yeah. You feel the spirit of Buddhist practice or Buddhism in there. Yeah? Also within the monks. Yeah? So doing this and doing that, and that is why I diverted from the subject, building this, doing this or doing that, it takes out the spirit of Buddhism, of our Buddhist practice. Yeah? Why we came here in the first place, you remember? Huh? How did you end up here? Yeah? All of you? Huh? The first reason probably was dukkha. We were dissatisfied with our life. Yeah? And then we thought, Buddhism or the practice of meditation, brings us some happiness and some refinement and some understanding. Yeah? And then after a while, you get tired of cleaning up the mess in your heart and your chitta, and then you start thinking, oh, I need to do this, oh, I need to do that, this needs to be. Of course, there are a lot of things that needs to be done. Yeah? But are they necessary? Huh? Are they really essential for our living here? You have to ask. Yeah? It reminds me of the time when I was in Wat Papantat. Whenever Lungta was in Bangkok, he went twice a year to Bangkok for 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, you saw the monks. The moment he was gone, you saw the monks. Starting this building project, that building project. And then he came back. And then he was really angry. Who did that? Huh? Who built that? Who built that? Yeah, who? Yeah? And you looked at them. They were all very quiet. And then he went again, and the next time he went again, to Bangkok, and then, yeah. It's just like, So we should not get into the habit, our monastery this year, is pretty much, pretty much complete, yeah. We built the wall, we built all the kutis, that are necessary, and most of them are in good shape, so we don't need to build anything. We just need to repair this or that, that breaks down. So, you have all the time, to practice, yeah? And what you're doing, yeah? Thinking about practice. That is not practicing. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. I want to practice like this. And then you sit for 5 minutes and then you change your mind. No, I want to investigate this. Yeah? For instance, when you go in contemplation, and then you say, oh, I want to contemplate about, my stomach or my heart or my liver or whatever, and 5 minutes later, no, that is boring, let's contemplate something else. The purpose of meditation, no matter if it is calm meditation or if it is vipassana investigation, it is always sticking to one object. Huh? And whenever the mind deviates from this object, you bring it back to this object. Yeah? And for contemplation, it is very clear. The first thing is you have to see that object that you want to investigate. Otherwise, how can you investigate it? Yeah? You have to see it with your inner eyes. Yeah? If you still can't see it with your inner eyes, take a look. If it is the outside parts like the skin, the teeth or the eyes or whatever. Yeah? Or the hair of the head, or the hair of the body, you want to investigate that, or the nails, yeah? Then look at them for 5 minutes until you get a clear picture, and then close your eyes and contemplate it, and stick, for the next hour or for the time that you determined, to do contemplation, stick with it. Yeah? Not deviating, oh yeah, that's boring, now I know, yeah. We don't know anything. Yeah? It doesn't matter, if it is, meditation to find calm and happiness, yeah, or peacefulness, or it is contemplation to understand what is going on. Yeah? I mean, we're so attached to this body. Yeah? We're so attached to this body. We constantly look after this body. Yeah? I mean, we don't realize, or we don't remember, that when we came into this world as a baby, that we had to train this body for 15 years. Huh? Remember that? Normally we don't want to remember it. Learning to walk, getting up, falling over. That's why I find this a very good simile, for meditation. I mean, we stick to the Buddha, the mind goes off, so we bring it back. Just like a little child, it wants to stand or it wants to learn to walk, it gets up, yeah, and it falls over. And what does the child do? Yeah, it cries a little bit, if it hurts itself, and then it gets up again. Yeah? And then it gets up again. And it falls over again, it gets up again, and it falls over again, it gets up again, until it can stand. But the sole purpose of this child, and that is where our desire, our desire lacks there, because, we know everything, we have trained this body, the desire is not strong enough, to stick with our Buddha or with the breath. Yeah? We should have the same motivation that a little child has, we want to learn to walk, yeah? Just like now we want to learn to meditate, yeah? The same kind of desire, the same kind of effort that a child, puts into learning to walk or learning to talk. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's nothing that we can read in books or nothing that our parents can teach us how to do it. It is something that we have to learn how to do it. Huh? Remember this? Huh? We have to learn. Né? Not our parents, give us some lectures, how to walk. Yeah? They can't give us, even if they wanted, they don't know how to do it. Yeah? Because, we're standing up, we have to train the muscles, to be able to hold, to be able to stand. All these muscles, all these tendons, we have to train them, so that we stand, and don't fall over. Yeah? And that's the same thing with meditation. Yeah? We have to train the mind so that it sticks with the Buddha or with the breath. And of course, it is not easy. Yeah? But now we are so old, and we don't want to learn anything new. Yes, we are interested in meditation, but we are only interested in the fruits of meditation, but we are not interested in doing the work to receive the fruits. That is the big problem. Yeah? We are always looking for the fruits. Where is the fruits? Where is the fruits? Yeah? Where is this peacefulness that I experienced half a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 10 years ago? Where is it? Where is it gone? It's gone. Yeah? Where is the cloud, that brought the rain this morning? It's gone. Does it come back? No. Because it dissipated. Huh? Remember? Dissipated. New clouds will form, with rain, and they come again. But each rain is different. Huh? Each cloud is different, just like each moment in our life is different. It doesn't come back, the experience we had, even yesterday, or just 5 minutes ago, it doesn't come back again. It will be a new experience, and that's what makes it interesting. If we see it, if we understand it, that each experience will differ. Just like each breath is different from the breath before. But we are so good, finding the similarities. Yeah? Of course they are similar. Just like a cloud is similar to another cloud. So is a breath similar to the last breath? Or a Buddha is similar to the last Buddha? Yeah? But they differ. Yeah? That can differ in length, they can differ in depth, they can differ in a lot of things. Yeah? And that's what we have to look for. We have to look for the difference that make it interesting, so that the mind sticks. Yeah? Because if the mind is interested in one thing, it sticks to it. And if it sticks to it, it gets concentrated. Huh? If you're interested 100%, you're completely concentrated. Huh? I mean, think about the hobbies you had where you got completely lost, where you lost time, where you lost, your environment, if you had some. You get interested in it, and then you suddenly concentrate. But where's our interest? We want to know. We want to experience. That was our interest. But we don't want to do the work anymore. Because yes, it is hard. It is tough. It's not easy. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of determination, and especially takes a lot of patience. Just come back. Okay. Just come back. Okay. Just come back. Okay. Takes a lot of patience. But we are impatient. I mean, the younger generation now, I feel so. I mean, they have a concentration span of not more than 2 minutes, or even now 1 minute, with all their smartphones. We didn't have, I didn't grow up with smartphones, I didn't grow up with computers, I didn't grow up with, with the internet, I was probably 30, or 25, when I first had the contact with a computer. What did I do before? My life must have been very boring. I played in the woods, I used imagination, creation, and all these things. So, the concentration span now, the younger the people are that start to meditate, the more difficult it is, because they have so much entertainment. If they are bored, they look at their smartphones, what is up, And then they look here, and then look at this application, look at that application, or look at this video, or that video, or this audio, or that audio, there's endless time. They can completely, 24 hours, they are completely entertained, And the next day it's the same thing, because the things on the internet constantly change, So their concentration span, it is very difficult. Then these people, so once in a while they feel dissatisfied, and then they hear about meditation, or meditation, gives you satisfaction, or happiness, or feel of calm, or feel of peacefulness, And they want to meditate, and after 2 minutes, that is too boring, I don't want it anymore, I can't, No, we have to persist. You know the word persist, Persisting, pulling the mind back to the point, of reference, And the point of reference is one object, It is our lifesaver, however you call the lifesaver, it keeps you from drowning in your thoughts and emotions and feelings and whatever comes up, It keeps you afloat, It keeps you on top of the things, Drowning means you drown within your feelings, your thoughts and emotions and everything, So if you don't have a lifesaver where you can have a tight grip on it, then you stay. Then you float, then you drown, Drown in your thoughts, drown in your emotions and think, yesterday was much better, or 10 years ago, the experience of meditation. Yes, of course, That's what we believe, That's what we think, Unless we investigate and see, we had a lot of dukkha at that time as well. I did it, whenever something, nice memory stuck out, and said, that was very nice, then I looked at it, and saw all this unhappiness that surrounded it. Or how much of suffering I had to go through, to get just a moment of happiness. And now I know, I just need to enter samadhi to get some happiness. All what I need to do is sit down, close my eyes, and stick with the Buddha or stick with the breath. And then, it's amazing, it's all there. Whatever we look outside in the world is all actually, is created within us, All the feelings, that we are looking for. The feeling, I'm so lonely, The feeling of loneliness disappears the moment we enter samadhi. There's no loneliness. We feel connected to everything, to everything that exists in this universe. Yeah? And there's no future, there's no past, so there's no worries, there's no fear, there's nothing. Yeah? And the moment we come out, everything is the same. We want this, we want that, and this is not according to our wishes. That is not according. I thought, meditation would be like this, or I thought, practice would be like this, or I thought, in this monastery, it would be like this or that. Not satisfied, then we go to another monastery, and then, we are happy for a while, and then we find, this is not to my liking, that is not to my liking, or this kind of meditation is not to my liking. It will never end. Huh? Remember the story of the Lord Buddha, when he was with Ananda on Pindapat. They called him, they went to a city where they called him, bald-headed camel, what is it, camel hair, and so on, yeah? All, these nice words that you don't like to hear. And then the Venerable Ananda said, okay, let's go to another city where they respect us. Because it's nice to get respect, yeah? And then the Lord Buddha asked him, and if the same thing happens in this other city, where do you want to go? Then let's go to another city. And when in that city, or in over that city, it happens the same thing. You can't escape from these things. And that leads back to karma. We cannot escape our karma. Yeah? Whatever we have done in the past will come back to us. Yeah? No matter if we like it or not. Yeah? So just be happy to accept it. Yeah. If it is really bad karma, bite your teeth, and say, okay, I get it. Yeah? I take it. Huh? Don't fight it, because if you fight the karma that comes from previous lives, yeah, or previous deeds, it gets worse. It will come back to you until you can't fight it anymore. Huh? And when is that? When we can't fight our karma anymore? When we go to hell. That's where we just have to experience our bad karma. Yeah? Or, if it is on a human realm where we really put in a situation where we can't fight back. Yeah? That's. So, accept it. If you like it or not, accept it, bite your teeth if it is difficult, but go through it. Yeah? Accept it, don't fight it. Because whatever happens in our life, yeah? Last time I said we are very lucky, to be here in Thailand. Think about now being in Europe or being in America. We are looked after. Yeah? All our needs are looked after. And the people, the lay people work, they work, they have a work, they earn money, or they are farmers, and they grow crops, and they give it to us. Give it to us, free of charge. The only charge, the Lord Buddha put the charge on it and said, if you're worthy of this food and these offerings, you have to practice. Do you remember anybody reading the sutras where the Lord Buddha said, if you're worthy of this offering, you have to build monasteries, and chedis, and stupas, and Buddha rupas, and so, and this and that. I didn't hear it, yeah. I didn't see it. No, he said, you have to practice. And the practice of a practitioner, of a monk, or a lay person who lives in the monastery, what is it? Walking Trungkrom, sitting in Samadhi. Yeah? Or walking Trungkrom, doing contemplation, or sitting, and doing contemplation. That is our only work that we have to do. Yeah? And, of course, we have to look after our body. We have to feed the body, we have to wash the body. Yeah? We have to take the care of the body, if it is sick. Yeah? That's it. Yeah? And we have to take care of the monastery of the place we live in. So we keep our kutikli, and it is so beautiful, because the life is so simple. Huh? We have 3 ropes, we have a bathing rope, and some answers, it's within 15 or 20 minutes everything is washed, yeah? Not like, when we were lay people where we have hundreds of shirts, 50 pairs of shoes and whatever, I don't know what, yeah? And all these books, and all these things, in our kuti, there's hardly anything in our kutis, yeah. There's a candle, and there is our rope, and there's our boats, and something else, Nowadays, MP3 players to listen to talk. Very simple life. To make it simple, yeah. So that we don't get distracted by all the things, that surrounds us, yeah. And to remind us of the simplicity of the life, to remind us of the simplicity of meditation. Yeah? So get it right, get it determined, determine yourself in the morning, okay, whenever I deviate from the Buddha, I will go back to the Buddha, not questioning, not putting any questioning, not asking why or when or where, yeah? Just going back instantly. And if you do that for days or for a few weeks, you will end up in samadhi. But if you follow your thoughts that come from, of course, they come from the kilesas, who are dissatisfied with this, who are dissatisfied with the practice, it's so boring, let me do something else, yeah? Or let me have a break. Who wants a break? The kilesas, huh? They're the only one who wants a break. Let me have a break, yeah? And what do you do in the break? Huh? Undo everything, that you just gathered in your meditation. Now I have so much energy, what am I going to do? Huh? I build this, or I build that, I do this, or I do that, and then we are drained of the energy, and then we have to sit back in meditation, and then we have to, yeah, just like the, just like the example I always use, yeah? We catch our motorbike, that is somewhere discarded, there's no fuel in it, we carry it to the next gas station, and then fill it up, yeah. The moment it is filled up, the kilesas take it over and run with it, yeah, until the tank is empty, and then we have to fill it, and then we have to find it and fill it up again. That's just like our chitta constantly going out, and going out and using all the energy of concentration, or the concentration that we just build up, to think about this or think about that, and then we are tired, and then we have to go back to the Buddha. It's so boring, it's so boring. Yeah. Because each time, we just build up a little bit of energy, and then we get a big insight. Yeah. So we have to follow this insight. We have to understand where this insight is coming from. Yeah, that is what is happening, and then at the end we realize it was probably nothing, it was just fooling us, it wasn't gold, it was the fool's gold, yeah, yeah. And then we have to do it again. And then of course, after all this time, we get tired, yeah. So, in the morning, determine yourself, yeah, okay. I'm determined, whenever I stray off my Buddha or the breath, or the tip of the nose, yeah, then I just go back. Yeah? We don't need to think here in the monastery. That is the nice thing about it. Yeah? We don't need to think when we eat, it's going automatically. Yeah? Have you realized it? Yeah? You stretch out your arm, you put it in the bowl, and you put the food into your mouth. Yeah? You don't need to think about how to put the food into your mouth, huh? Or sweeping, you don't need to think about how to sweep, yeah? You just sweep, yeah? What is going on, yeah? I don't like to sweep, yeah? Why is this belief not going away, I'm too lazy to knee and pick it up, huh? So then I sweep for 5 minutes until this one leaf, goes off, yeah? That's what is happening, yeah? Now, whenever you see, yeah, when your determination is firm, whenever you see the mind goes off, just bring it back. Yeah? There's nothing that we need to think of. Yeah? And the more we think, the more things go wrong. Huh? Have you noticed it? My Upatak should have noticed it. Yeah? And the Pravin should have noticed it as well. Whenever we start thinking, shall I do this, shall I do that? Things go wrong. When we have sati, when we have this clear understanding that comes with the samadhi, we open our eyes, and everything is clear, like our house is clear and clean, and we see exactly what needs to be done. If nothing needs to be done, we don't need to do anything. It's so clear. Huh? Whenever you watch an arahant, if there's nothing to do, he sits there, closes his eyes, until he's asked, until, an occasion comes where he's asked to act, and then he acts. And if he's not asked to act, then he doesn't act. And then he's not there. And this is the amazing thing about an arahant, he's not there. I mean, you see the hull of his body, just the outside of his body, but he's not there, he's not present. In the moment, something triggers, something needs to be said, or something needs to be done, suddenly he's there, present, but 100% present, not diverted by this, not distracted by this or that. This is the advantage when you live with an arahant. You see it, you see it happen. Okay, enough for today. Yeah. ไหนคนไทยมีคำถามไหมวันเล็กเป็นยังไง1 อาทิตย์ก็2 อาทิตย์เหรอ1 อาทิตย์ค่ะฮะ1 อาทิตย์ค่ะหลวงพ่อ1 อาทิตย์ค่ะ1 อาทิตย์แล้วเป็นยังไงดีขึ้นไหมบางครั้งก็ดีค่ะโอเคก็ไม่เป็นไรก็พยายามนะอย่าเชื่อกิเลสที่บอกว่าเนี่ยว่าน่าเบื่อผมต้องทำอันนี้ผมต้องทำอันโน้นผมต้องนี่ก็มันยังไม่ได้ทำเนี่ยต้องคิดเรื่องนี้ต้องคิดเรื่องโน้นวันมันตลอดเวลานี่ก็สำคัญโน่นก็สำคัญนั่นก็สำคัญสุดท้ายก็ตายแล้วนะมันยังไม่ได้ทำอะไรทั้งหมดนะยังมีอะไรเหลือนะมันชาติหน้าก็จะต่อไปนอกจากของเราตัดสินใจจบแล้วเวลาจบก็ต้องนั่งภาวนาสมาธิและพิจารณาแล้วช่วงแรกพิจารณาทุกขเวทนาเพราะว่าของเรานั่งนานไม่ได้ต้องพิจารณาทุกขเวทนาบ้างมันไม่สะดวกใช่ไหม อะไรทุกข์มาจากไหนเวลาลุกขึ้นก็ไม่มีทุกข์เมื่อตัดมือก็มันทุกข์ตลอดเวลาไม่ว่าก็นั่งก็นอนก็อะไรมันเจ็บตลอดเวลาแต่เวลาของเรานั่งสมาธิเจ็บปวดเข่าปวดหลังปวดนี่ปวดโน่นปวดนั้นนะลุกขึ้นไม่ปวดแปลก มันน่าสะใจนะพิจารณาทุกขเวทนาเวลาพิจารณาทุกขเวทนาบ้างนะมันจะเข้าสู่สมาธิได้เวลาเข้าสู่สมาธินานก็พิจารณาร่างกายนี่มันสำคัญที่สุดนะของเราดูแลแต่ร่างกายนะไม่ได้ดูแลจิตใจร่างกายเป็นเจ้าของจิตใจก็เป็นเจ้าของร่างกายเนี่ยร่างกายเป็นเหมือนรถยนต์ก็ใช้เพื่อประโยชน์ร่างกายเนี่ยก็เหมือนกันจะใช้เพื่อประโยชน์โอเคเมื่อเข้าใจอันนี้ก็มันลดลงเยอะนะที่ต้องทำก็ลดลงเยอะนะไม่เป็นไรนะมันสำหรับร่างกายไม่จำเป็นเนี่ยมาอยู่ที่นี่อยู่ที่วัดนะจะดูอะไรร่างกายกี่ชั่วโมง1 2 3 ชั่วโมงเสร็จแล้วและที่เหลือก็21 ชั่วโมงนั่งสมาธิก็ได้เมื่อนอน6 ชั่วโมงยังเป็น14 ชั่วโมงโอเคมีถามไหมคำถามไหม
ไม่มีเจ้าค่ะ
โอเค
ลูกเอาตัวเองเผาทุกวันทุกเวลาถูกไหมเจ้าค่ะ
อะไร
เอาตัวเองเผาทุกวัน
เผาทุกวัน
ใช่
เผายังไง
เอาตัวเองคล้ายๆกับว่าทำคล้ายๆกับว่าคิดว่าตัวเองตายแล้วก็เอาตัวเองเผา
ก็ดีอยู่แต่ดีกว่าอยู่กับพุทโธมันทำให้ใจมันสงบก่อนเมื่อใจมันสงบมันจะเห็นชัดนะเมื่อไม่ได้คิดเมื่อไม่มีความคิดนะและมองดูอะไรจะเห็นชัดเจนนะและเวลาไม่มีความคิดโอเคมองดูความตายมันจะเห็นชัดเจนและเข้าใจลึกๆด้วยนะเมื่อคิดเรื่องความตายก็ดีอยู่ ฮะคิดของเราตายทุกเวลาก็ได้นะบางคนก็บางองค์ก็เผาในกุฏิตัวเอง
ฟุ้งเจ้าค่ะ
ก็ถูกนะดีกว่านะคิดเรื่องอันอื่นนะแต่ยังไม่เข้าลึกนะมันสมาธิมันสติก็ต้องฝึกสติก่อนแล้วมันสติมันยากนะเห็นไหม2 วันเห็นแล้วนะมันคิดชอบมันออกจิตมันชอบออกคิดนี่คิดโน้นคิดนั้นฮะแล้วมีประโยชน์อะไรบ้างฮะไม่ได้ทำนะ โอเคเด็กไหมอีกนะแล้ววันเมื่ออยากชอบมาต้องยัง1 พรรษาเราต้องทำให้ใจสงบนะถ้าไม่ที่เดินนะมันปวดกี่ปีแล้วฮะ
ถ้ายังเป็นพรรษาของทำใจสงบบ้างมีความมั่นสำเร็จอยู่นานเป็นพรรษาถ้าสมมติว่า
3 เดือนทุกวันโอ้ทั้งเช้าโอ้นี่มันจะเห็นกิเลสออกมารุนแรงนะและเวลาเห็นมาออกรุนแรงนะมันจะฟัดก็ได้นะ
พรรษาที่แล้วลูกก็อยู่หลายเดือนเจ้าค่ะหลวงพ่อ
ไม่ได้บอกเดือนนี้ฮะมีแต่ข้ออ้างนะโอ้นะเลยปีหน้าก็มีนี่มันนะและปีหน้าก็มีเนี่ยโน่นก็มีนะนั่นก็มีและสุดท้ายก็ตายแล้วอ๋อเสียดายชาติเกิดเสียชาติเกิดโอเคฮะเนี่ยคนแก่เนาะเนี่ยทำไม